Hey, Matt here. Just wanted to talk about the Scrapeboard Proxy tab. So, this is the Proxy tab. A lot of stuff going on here, nothing too complicated. Pretty straightforward. If you have proxies you want to paste in from the clipboard you've got from somewhere else, you just right click and you can load from clipboard. Elsewise, you can go to Harvest Proxies, and there's internal sources here. I'm just going to click the first one here and go ahead and hit Start, and it's going to find 137 proxies. I'm going to click OK. It's going to bring in those proxies into here. I get several options here. When I'm ready to start, I can hit Test Proxies. I can also load proxies from a file and save them when I'm done, that sort of thing. I can, of course, click on these individual ones and remove proxies if I want. When you hit Remove Proxies, it actually gives you this menu that's all kinds of options, everything from removing all proxies to just the selected proxy. So I hit that when it removes it. All these different options. Very nice. I can mark them and unmark them as socks. These little buttons down here let you choose whether you want to do the Google test, the IP test, and the speed test, if you want those respectively. So if you're not going to be say harvesting from Google, then you probably don't need to test Google. But if you're going to be doing page rank checking or Google harvesting or something like that, you probably want that. So the IP test is going to be just the whether or not you're level 1, level 2, anonymous or elite proxies there. So generally you probably want that, and then the speed test is just the latency. So and then here is the settings. I can choose my connections, my timeouts, whether I want it to scroll during a list, that sort of thing. So let's just hit test proxies and see what happens. You notice it does it pretty fast. It does all three at once here, which is pretty slick. Saves a lot of time from doing each one individual. As far as running through here, I'm running on a little slower internet connection at the moment, so it's taking just a minute, but you can see it's going relatively fast for 133 proxies there. I got a little status indicator down here, runs across, and then you'll see it'll finish up here in a second. So we can see all these things, like this one passed the IP test and its speed, but it didn't pass the Google test, whereas this one passed the Google test and all of these things. So then once this is done, this would be where we would come into hitting remove, and then we can filter out things like move any proxy that failed the Google or IP test kind of thing. So you can go through there, and then we can, of course, save these off, save them to a clipboard file, Excel spreadsheet, that sort of thing. So test for what you need, save them off. Proxies in Scrapeboard are a little different. You don't. I say a little different. I mean in reference to if you're using Scrapebox rather, or some other program where you load proxies independently, because it uses memory mapped files in Scrapeboard. Once you load the proxies here, everything you do here, when you go somewhere and it says use proxies, it's automatically going to use the proxies that are loaded up here. So even if I just hit load and load them into here, whenever I'm somewhere and I click this box, it's going to use the proxies from here automatically. So keep that in mind as you run through everything. And that's about wraps it up for proxies.